Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. This is the second in our Getting Started With series and is a mirror of the last part in that we'll be looking at using Warlord Games' Waterloo set to kickstart our British army. As with last time, I'll be assuming all kits are bought at full price, although I'll try and mention some places where it's cheaper and that the starter set has been split 50-50 with a friend. And my recommendations are based on quality for price, in my opinion, and ease of purchase. So if you prefer a manufacturer that I don't mention, or one that's easier for you because it's like the end of your road or something, then that's great. I would suggest go for those. But otherwise, I'm going to do it on what I think are going to be easily available and what provides the best value for money. I'll be assuming that all paints and things like that the players have already, and that they will have a copy of Albion Triumphant Volume 2 as well. That won't be including that in the amount of money that we've got to spend. So we're going to be looking at an initial £100 to get the army started, and then we'll be looking at a second £100 in order to provide the reinforcements for the army and turn it into a fully rounded force that we can take onto the tabletop. So in the Waterloo set, you get what I think is actually a much better deal than the French commander. You get 2 units, so don't tell the Frenchman I said this though, because then he'll want to pay less than half of the start box cost. But no, seriously, so what do you get for your £35? You get 2 units of 24 British infantry. Now, I should have mentioned at the beginning, we're going to be doing infantry battalions of 24 figures, cavalry regiments of 8 figures, and batteries of guns, either 1 or 2 models, depending on which one you prefer. So you get 2 units of 24 British infantry, 1 of Hanoverians, and a cannon. In addition, you get a rather spiffy officer figure leaning on his umbrella, and as I say, at half the cost of the set for 35 quid, I think that's really good value. Anyone who has seen the French video won't be surprised by this, but we're going to need to hit up the Perrys for some command, because unfortunately the Waterloo box doesn't have any. I also think as well that when it comes to British battalions, it's those 2 colours that make them look so cool on the tabletop. So, first off, we're going to get the command for the Hanoverians. Now, the one to go for here is BN13. That's Bravo November 13, and that gives you the command 6 command figures that you need to do the command element of that Hanoverian battalion. We're also going to buy 3 sets of BN. I think it would be. I've got BH5 here. I think it's probably BN5. That's British KGL Command Advancing. But Tim, I hear you cry, why are we buying 3? We've only got 2 units of British. Well, mon ami, by adding the command to the 2 units of British and the 1 of Hanoverian, we're going to free up 18 miniatures by doing that, because there's 6 in each command pack. So we've got 3 battalions, we're going to free up 18 miniatures. We add the command, the extra command that we've bought, for another 6, takes that up to 24. We've got ourselves another unit. Now, to be fair, some of them are going to be from the Hanoverian figures, so they might have like the off-duty cap on that the Hanoverians have got, but that's fine. There's no reason that troops can't have mixed headwear. It's not ideal, but I mean, it certainly gets the job done, and it gets us a whole extra battalion. So I think that that's worth doing. Now, buying these 4 command packs comes in at a total of 30 quid. So we've spent now £65, leaving us with £35 left. Now, the British were known for their stoic, well-trained infantry, particularly at Waterloo. So let's lean into that theme. And my next suggestion is going to be a box of Victrix Highlanders Centre Company. Now, these guys are £24.95 from Victrix themselves. And it's a bit weird. Victrix decided to split their boxes into Centre Company and Flank Company. Flank companies have got what they're called nests. They're like white, sort of poofy bits on their shoulders. That's basically the only difference, really. I think you get different officers as well. But realistically, it doesn't really matter on the tabletop. You can use the Centre Companies easily enough. And one of the super bonuses about this is it's 25 quid, but you get 60 figures, which is enough for 2 full battalions. They also have the command in there, and as a final bonus, you also get the flags in there as well. So not too shoddy at all. That's £25 that you will find very well spent, I'm sure. So we're now on £90 with a shiny 5p piece. So we've basically got a tenner left. So now we've got a cannon, 6 battalions of infantry, including 1 Hanoverian and 2 of Highlanders. And we're going to need bases and flags for all these guys. Now, at the moment, we're going to hold off the flags. As I said, it's a bit of a shame because they are, in my eyes, the thing that really make the army. But we're going to hold off for them for this initial £100. We're going to get the bases. That's far more important. So we've got 2 spare officers from the Victrix set and 1 from the starter set. So that's going to do us for commanders. Again, not ideal, but it'll do us. And we're going to look to war bases for our bases. I'm going to suggest 4 packs of 16 40mm squares, 2mm thick bases for £7 for the 4 packs, and a set of 60mm diameter round bases for our commanders at £1.20 for a total of £8.20. Now, we can base the cannon on one of these round bases if we super need to, or we can maybe knock some of the 40mm squares together. But we can sort out a base for the cannon, is what I'm saying. Again, not ideal, but it's good enough for now. So our running total after we've got the bases is £98.15. So we're actually just under £2 on the budget. So that's nice. That makes a nice change. For the tabletop, we've got 2 brigades of 3 battalions. I would put the Hanoverians in with the jocks, and the cannon can go on in one of the brigades. We've also got loads of spare bases left over for our reinforcements. So I think we've made an excellent first foray into our British Army there. Our £100 well spent. Now, those of you who've seen the video on the French, the reinforcements for your second £100 was a bit of a no-brainer for them, to be honest. The starter set was such good values. But the Brits don't actually have one for the Waterloo period. They've got a Peninsula one, but they don't have one for 1815. And that's a shame because the Peninsula one is really good, actually. So if one does come out or not, I don't know. But we're going to, go for the assumption that one's not going to come out. So it's not all bad, though. It does mean that we can look at some other things as well. So, it's not too bad. I think we're going to look at adding some more fun stuff in this next £100. So, although there's no Waterloo British Starter Army, they do have a deal on their website called Lord Stollard's Brigade (Waterloo), which is effectively a starter set. In it, you get a second cannon, 2 more units of infantry, this time with command, 10 riflemen, and 12 Union Brigade cavalry, that you can either make into Dragoon Guards or the Scots Greys. The extra gun can either join our existing one to make it a 2-gun battery, or we can separate it and put it in the infantry brigade that didn't already have a gun to give us 2 batteries. Again, it's up to you and your opponent. It depends on whether you like to have 2-gun batteries or not. As for the infantry, they come with command, giving us a total of 8 infantry battalions, which is very nice. We can always make one of the British ones an Irish one, the Connaught Rangers, for example, because they fought alongside the Highlanders across Portugal and Spain. So that's a nice thematic thing there. Now, this is something of a guess for me. If anyone knows for certain, please leave a comment down below. I'm 95% sure that this is how it's going to go down, though. Is that when you order this bundle, they're just going to get the packs and boxes that make up this bundle, stick them in a box, and they're going to send it to you. The pictures on the website show the British units with flags and command. So I'm assuming that it is literally just 2 boxes of infantry that I'll grab off the shelf and pop in the box. If that's not the case, then I apologise, but I do think strongly that is going to be the case. The reason it's important is because in the boxes of infantry, you get sheets of flags. So that's really useful for us. We're going to have the flags for the 2 battalions that we're going to buy as part of Lord Stollard's deal. But we also get them for the ones that were in the Waterloo set that we had to buy the commands from the Perrys for as well. So we should get enough colours for all our battalions in these, which is super, super nice. Like I said, it's a shame that we couldn't get them in the initial £100, but it's worth waiting to get them because we've effectively got them for free. So the bundle for Lord Stollard's deal comes to £78, which leaves us with £22 for extra fun stuff. Now, for these, I would go for some commander miniatures, not least either BH3 or BH4 from the Perrys. Which makes me think, actually, I said Bravo November earlier on. I think it's probably BH are their codes. 3 or 4 from the Perrys, anyway. This is a set of generals or colonels, respectively. I'd put them on round bases, and you can count them as senior commanders. I particularly like BH4, because that's got a Highlander colonel in there, and one of our infantry brigades is effectively a Highlander one, so I think that goes quite nicely. So a pack of mounted commanders is £9, taking us to £87. Now, whilst ordering them, I would also add a pack of BH18. That's BH18, which is the British 95th Rifles Command. Now, I'd add that for 2 reasons. The first is that gives us 16 riflemen, which is enough for 2 tiny units of 8. So that's 1 per infantry brigade, which is nice. And the second is that there's an officer who's like running forward with his sword drawn. He's like half crouching down. And he is one of my favourite all-time minis of any manufacturer. I'm talking like even Games Workshop or any other manufacturer. I just think he's an absolutely phenomenal mini. I really, really like him. So that's another £7.50. So that's going to take us to £94.50p. Now with our purchases, we've got some new troop types. We're going to need some bases for them. And again, it's back to war bases for me. We're going to need some 50mm square bases for the cavalry. Now, as I said, you can make them as either Scots Greys or the Dragoon Guards. So it's entirely up to you there. For the Riflemen, they're almost always going to be in loose order. But I do want the opportunity for them to be able to form up. So I'm actually going to get round bases for them, base them individually. But I want them to have the same frontage as the line infantry. So we're going to look at 20mm round bases for them. So I'll grab a pack of them. And I'm also going to get a pack of bases 75mm by 100 for the artillery as well. So altogether with those, we're looking at £5.25, taking us to £99.75. So let's take stock. We now have an army of 8 battalions of line infantry and 2 small companies of rifles. This is awesome because not only do we have quite a nice sized infantry formation there, but we've also got some variation in both play and painting as well. We've got the Brits in their red coats and grey trousers. Hanoverians, similarly, but they've got the bright red caps with a yellow band, which really helps them stand out. We've got 2 battalions of Highlanders in their kilts and bonnets, and we've got the rifles in their dark green. Add to that, we've also got the Royal Artillery in their dark blue. Additionally, we've got a unit of elite cavalry with an option about what to build. Now, I'm going to be honest here, so I'm sorry to say that although it's a great value but deal, I'm not a massive fan of the cavalry. If I'm honest, the figures I think are a bit pony. So, if you'll pardon the pun. So, I would probably go for the Perrys on this one. Now, obviously, that's going to add to our cost. It's going to take us way over our £100. But for me, a unit as iconic as the Scots Greys, or even something like the Inniskilling Dragoon Guards, which I'm a big fan of, I think they deserve the best minis. I think they deserve Perry's medals. So I would go for Command Pack BH21 and 2 packs of BH22 to make up our unit of 8. And that gives us a spare as well. So being cavalry packs, they're £9 each, totaling £27. Now that's taking us way over our limit there. You can always add them later, or you could even swap out. So for argument's sake, you do the Scots Greys from the Warlord ones. You could eventually buy the metal ones and swap them out, or you could just leave them in. Make them buy some in the Skillings later, something like that. It's entirely up to you. But that's it. So that's how I would carry on from the British starter set from Waterloo. It's a bit of a funny one, much shorter video than the French, and I think it's because they almost sort of sell themselves, really. You've got 8 battalions of infantry, and 1 of cavalry and artillery as well. You've also got senior officers to command everything. I think it's a really nice set. It's going to look very good on the table. So all those different colours and things like that. I mean, when I first started, basically Victrix were the only plastics out there, which really nice. I really like the Victrix, but they're a bit of a pain to stick together, and the plastic on the bayonets wasn't great. But since then, we've got Perry's and we've got Warlord have released their things. Another suggestion I was going to make was maybe buy a box of Perry infantry and use those as guards. That's what I've done for mine. Again, you get flags in the box there, so that's quite handy as well. But I think that Lord Stollar's deal is too good to pass up, basically. So that's why I've added it there as well. So, thank you very much for watching. It's been, like I say, a bit shorter this one. If you're not into the Highlanders, then swap them out for maybe a Perry's box of infantry. That'll give you the flags in your first £100 set. But that's where I would go. I've had some pictures up on the screen of what the army looks like on the tabletop. I, for one, think it looks really nice. I've had to swap out in the picture Hanoverians because I don't actually own any of those ones. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. This has been a surprisingly short video. I'm just looking at the timer now. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's given you some ideas. If you're not into those figures, that's fine. Try and leave in the comments what you would go for instead. Maybe leave in the comments how you spend your first £100. I'd quite like to see other people's ideas on those as well. But thank you very much for watching. I shall see you in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.